Okay, so this month with our Coffee with the Copper, our topic is going to be on your organization's campus presence. What sort of presence do you have on your campus? Is it small? Is it large? What sort of impact do you make? And then also, how can you build that campus presence and start to work with other organizations more, work more with your department, things like that? And what are just some good stepping stones on like how to get started on building up your presence on campus? So I've come up with just a few questions. Like I said, this Coffee with the Copper is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. So to start off, my first question is, what do you currently do to brand your organization? A&M Commerce.
Something that we do annually is at the beginning of each semester, because we do have people who come in, mid-semester. We have a open house for RHA, which we pull out the tents if it's in the fall. Pull out the tents. We have pizza, hot wings, and we just give all the residents on campus a chance to get to know us on a personal level. We have music out. We have giveaways. We just allow them to see us outside of just being, in a professional setting. Yeah, that's something that we do.
That sounds really awesome. Only because you said please, Brian.
So the question was presence on campus. Am I right? Okay. So we're kind of different. Well, not really different. We're the same as y'all. But I don't know how we ended up being a main part of like the conversations around campus of like an administrative level. Like I sit on pretty much every single board known to man at A&M when it comes to students' presence, right next to student body president. So it's like student body president, me, and then our student union president, and like Greek life, corps commander, and then head yell leader. So it's like a big 7 almost, big 8, whatever you want to call it. But for RHA wise, like a locally, our RHA, like we talk at new student conferences, that's what we call them. They may be like orientations for some of you during the summer, like when you transfer in. There's like a freshman type, like if you live on campus thing that our Res Life allocates us like 10 minutes to like talk to them about RHA, kind of like showing the videos and like PowerPoint, trying to like get them the buy-in. Also what helps is that each hall has its own community council. Some would get combined to have its own complex, and the presence there, the advisors or whatever, like it's in their job description to make sure that runs smoothly. So we have that buy-in as well. But overall, you just have to like literally sell the organization to them. Like you want them to like believe in it. You have to have a strong leader. I'm not saying I'm a strong leader, but we definitely have a strong leader presence, showing that we know what we're doing. We really definitely bounced back from last year, coming from the past few years. Actually, we bounced back this year from the past few years have been like our decrease of attendance. I know a lot of y'all have been like, how'd y'all get like 100 people at y'all's meeting, 80 people? Like our last meeting was like 75, 80 people, like casually. And it's maybe happened that we just have a lot of halls. That could be a thing. We've got like 21 halls. So that could be like, okay, that's 2 members from each hall coming. So I mean, it's not really a lot there, but I think it's still pretty good from our average of 17 people last year. But that's kind of how my presence, I know I talk about it a lot, but I can't elaborate enough that it falls onto our community councils actually having that buy-in.
Okay, Baylor. So a couple of things we do, kind of like what Brian was saying, we rely on the hall councils. Each hall here has what's called a hall leadership team, so we kind of rely on them to spread the news about our events, about our council meetings, things like that. Another thing we do here is we have what's called late night, so all the student organizations will be out around campus during the welcome week before school starts, so the students can get to see everybody, get to know the organizations, etc. And then just spamming people with flyers. That's another thing we do is we will like spam emails and residence halls with flyers to get our name out because we have events and stuff, and that's one of the best ways we can do it. So that's kind of how we have our presence on the campus. It's kind of small, but it's grown over the past couple of years, which is good. So hopefully it continues to do so. Tyler Junior College.
Okay. All right. One thing we do, it's kind of like how at Baylor you have your hall. We call them hall representatives, and we don't have that many halls. So we only have one per dorm, but that's how we get our word out. And we have this thing called OrgSync. I don't know if you guys have anything like it, but it runs with our school website, and it has all of our organizations on it. And you can send out emails to all of the residents on campus, not just the people who go to school here. And that's what we do as well. We just spam their emails. We put up posters and flyers. We write on bulletin boards. When other organizations, we partner with other organizations, like not really organizations, but like Trio. I don't know if y'all have that, but Trio and other stuff. They put out weekly emails to their students, and they put like a newsletter of what's going on around campus. And that's one thing. That's how we had nearly 800 people come to our Fall Fest on Tuesday. We know for our haunted house. Thank you. We know for our haunted house. We don't know for the rest of Fall Fest, but that for 800 easily for that, and all because of the newsletters and the flyers and things. But that's it.
SFA.
So in the summer, we do different presentations in our orientation sessions and things like that, as well as we have a huge event for incoming freshmen and transfer students at the beginning of the semester, right before the semester starts. So that's a huge way for us to get a good chunk of people, because we have about 40 people who are in that program every year. And a lot of those people end up being in our hall councils and as presidents and things like that. So it's a great way for us to start out getting people in those positions, and then for them to continue to have that connection with us, as well as we have meet and greets and things like that as well. And every other Thursday before our General Assembly meetings, we have tables out in the Student Center where there's like really heavy traffic, normally around like lunchtime, and just pass out flyers about upcoming dates, events, whatever it may be. And then also just doing sponsorships and different things with other organizations, as well as going to every single program that's basically on campus that some of us can go to, especially in our halls. But just being there, we've noticed that just being somewhere where people can see your face and identify us with RHA has helped us a lot with getting kind of other organizations to reach out to us for some things, as well as us reaching out to other orgs for them to participate in our events. So that's something that has really helped us, definitely, is reaching out to them, but definitely just having a presence on campus, being everywhere that you can be, has really helped us a lot.
UTSA.
So we usually do a big pool party at the beginning of the year, and we'll have it like kind of like the day, like the second or third day of move-in. So like the parents may still be here. And so we even allow the parents to come and like check it out. And like this year we had it was like I pledge not to do drugs kind of little branding type thing. And so like they got a free shirt if they came. And so we actually have like a lot of residents wearing their shirts now. And so, it has like RHA on it. And so like we kind of get questioned if we can have more shirts. But we only have I think we have 2,300 students living on campus. So it's kind of a smaller population. And so we rely heavily on our RAs. And so each RA will bring 2 members to our meetings. And so we'll roughly have maybe like 30 residents and like maybe 15 RAs at our general meetings. So we're trying to figure out ways to like, be more like involved on campus instead just the pool party. And so this year for RAs, we're required to do like a big program. We're going to do like a tunnel of oppression. So I know we've been kind of trying to help with RHA. I mean, we have 3 RAs on our e-board, so it's pretty easy for us. But yeah, just the pool party mainly.
University of Arkansas at Fayetteville.
So we have a fairly large budget, and so we'll end up sponsoring a lot of organizations with their programs. If res halls want to do something, they'll pay for part of it and come to us for like the rest of the funding. And so anything that we sponsor, when they advertise it around campus, we'll have them put our logo on the flyers. And just a little like statement about how like we're partly funding it. And then any program that we fund, we try to send exec members to, just to like have a presence there. And if we can't send someone from the exec team to these programs that we're sponsoring, then we'll send some of the like house representatives there to make sure that we still have a presence. So that's one of the big ways that we brand ourselves.
Cool. Anything else for how you brand yourself on your campus? Okay. My next question then is, how do you work with other organizations? Which is, we've kind of touched on this a little bit already. But as we've seen, working with other organizations is a great way to get your name out there on campus, and to reach audiences that you probably haven't reached out to before. So how do you work with other organizations on your campus? Midwestern.
Okay, so our biggest organization on campus right now is UPB. They're the University Programming Board, and they hold most of the like big campus-wide events, and like everybody on campus knows who UPB is. And I'm actually really good friends with a lot of the executive board members for UPB, as well as with their advisor. And so, and our advisor and their advisor are good friends as well. So we're able to kind of make our name by like kind of shadowing them and helping them a lot with their events, and with the things that they throw for students, and kind of using their name to get our name out there since we are so new and like just getting started. But yeah, UPB has been like our biggest resource. And so we're just always like offering volunteers and I guess like ideas or whatever if they need it. So.
Wonderful. Okay, I lost where I was. Texas A&M Commerce.
Yes. What we do is the groups that we usually work with is SGA, because on our campus they have a huge budget and they never use it. So we like to help them use it. So we also I'm also a Spirit Den leader. So Whitley Resident Hall is the largest building in Commerce. It's a 12-floor building, and on the 5th floor is called the Spirit Den floor. So we go out to all the basketball games, football games, soccer, all the sporting events, and then we go on campus as well. So when they have large events, we come out in numbers. I think we have like maybe 40 or 50 people live on this floor. So we just reach out to, we actually are starting to reach out to fraternities on campus to see, to see what that's like. And we get a lot of positive feedback. We want to work with the alphas next semester. And, hopefully, we'll spread out abroad. But that's what we do.
Okay. Tyler Junior College.
Okay. Oh, did I not go back on me? Oh well. Okay. So kind of like Rachel said, at Midwestern, they have a main place where they do all the programming and on-campus programs, but we have them. They're called something different. My mind just went blank. Excuse me, but we kind of partner with them a lot when we want to get the word out, because they hold a lot of the organizations too. Like all of these organizations, about almost 90% of them come out of that one office, and they have student senate. And at student senate, we also talk about, like, whenever we have open floor, we ask other organizations if they would like to help us with whatever we're planning, and just get the word out. And it goes back to their office, and everyone in their office will start emailing our advisor, like, yeah, we want to help, we want to do this. Like when we had our fall fest on Tuesday night, honors is like their own organization, so honors said they want to do a mad science lab on our third floor of Ornelas, and have kids playing with like sticky hands on the wall. And the dental hygiene girls, they wanted to set up a booth right outside of the dorm so they can give out toothbrush and toothpaste to all the kids getting candy. And so like we just talked to them through those meetings and through the offices, and that's how we mainly get people. Since we're also a smaller school, we don't have a lot of say so in a lot of things, but we are very close to our RAs, and so they'll talk to housing a lot. And the director of housing, she'll help with putting our names out there a lot more as well. So I think that answers your question.
Bye, Rachel. Have fun at your bonfire. It's going to be really fun. I wish we did a bonfire. I love bonfires. Okay. Where was I? West Texas A&M.
So we pretty commonly work with other organizations. That's something that we've gotten a lot better on in the past few years. We work a lot now with like student government. We've worked with UPD with different things, and we do a lot of work sometimes with not necessarily like other orgs, but like other departments or like other parts of campus. So like we're doing something in November, for instance, where we're working with our CAF to set up a table where we're going to have people donate meals, and then we're going to turn around and take all those meals and go serve them at a homeless shelter in Amarillo. So we work with organizations some, and also with other departments and like other places at the university. And we also are kind of lucky here in that we have a pretty good office of student engagement and leadership. And so a lot of times they'll send people to us, or people will email us because our information is out there for people to get from them if they need it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Are there any other schools that want to contribute anything? Any of the maybe like A&M schools? I feel like we hit all of those. There might be like one or two that I missed. There's just so many. Well, West Texas A&M just talked, Brian. Maybe if you were paying attention, you would know. Brian, do you have anything to contribute from Texas A&M?
Yeah, so actually we don't partner with anyone. We just kind of kick them. No, I'm just kidding. But actually in the years past, we've never actually partnered with anyone. It's kind of weird. Just one thing that we've had a lot of leadership that did not, I don't know, make connections with other student leaders. So I took on that initiative and definitely I said, no, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to actually build connections and try to program. So we're actually having our first co-programming with like a pretty big organization, which is like Traditions Council. And some of y'all know about Bonfire that collapsed at A&M. A lot of use it for risk management. That's what they talk about. But Traditions Council kind of like provides the backstory. So Bonfire collapsed in November. And so we're showing a filming of the documentary, and Traditions Council and RHA are actually partnering for the first time in history. It's like a great partnership. We're excited. We also host Silver Taps for the fallen Aggies who can no longer stand no more each month, who have passed the previous month beforehand. And thankfully there won't be one. It's always great not to have a Silver Taps, but we're going to probably partnership with the MSC, which is our union, to do like a coffee hour, because RHA meetings end at 8 on Tuesdays and it's at 10:30 when Silver Taps are. So the MSC and RHA and I think Traditions Council are actually going to program to host like a cookies and coffee and just kind of talk to the families that come in because their students have passed and like they want to get to know the students and how they acted, what were they involved with. So actually this was kind of like the first year that we've actually trying to like start something, because we've had pretty bad reps the past few years, and that's not an understatement either. And a lot of people think that we just are kind of savage and don't like to like follow through things, and that kind of like made me upset. And I was like, nah, not this year. We're not. So food for thought, definitely build connections, make friends that are in the high leadership roles. Yes, it does help to like have someone in the lower, but definitely if you're friends with them in the organization, like maybe possibly go on double dates with them and like, hey, like my organization's like, we're pushing something. Literally did that for Traditions Council and like, it's working great. So word of advice, like build those connections.
And double dates is why I do not call on you. Okay, moving on to the next question. Describe your relationship with your residential life department. How do you communicate? Do you communicate well? And how can you improve that communication? So a big thing that we've been talking about is externally, like what do you do with other organizations, with other departments on campus? But one of the biggest things that you can do is you need to like improve your presence on campus and improve your brand, is just making sure that your actual department knows who you are and that you have good relationships within your department. So looking at that, describe your relationship with your department and how you communicate. Baylor.
So RCC, or our residential hall thing, we're run by Campus Living and Learning, so we're a direct like arm of residential life here at Baylor. And our advisor, for example, is one of the assistant directors of residence life, or what we call Campus Living and Learning. So we have a pretty good relationship, I would say. Typically, if there's something that Campus Living and Learning needs to know from us, we just tell our advisor and she relays the message along and vice versa. So it's a pretty easy relationship there. As it being an arm of residence life, that really helps. So
Cool. UTSA.
So like I said earlier, we pretty much, our members are the RAs right now. But something that we kind of like push for is if they bring 20 residents to a meeting, which, you know, it's kind of a lot, but it's like a third or whatever of their residents. So if they bring it, like 20 of them to our meetings, it counts as a program for them. And as well as like, if we do host like an event and they bring like a certain amount of the residents, we try to give them that opportunity. That way they don't have to, you know, plan like another program by the end of the semester. Because I think the RAs here, we have to have 9 programs each semester. So it's just like kind of ease their way where it's not as much. And then our advisor is actually one of our complex coordinators. So kind of, she pushes it a lot on her staff. And so it's kind of easier for us, I guess.
Wonderful. OU. Okay. So Steven's mic isn't working. So he says, ours is pretty good. Our advisor is also an assistant director, and he helps us be connected. I also meet with the director of housing and food. So I'll go ahead and just copy that into the minutes for you. Thank you so much, Stephen. Where did I go? Okay, A&M Commerce.
All right, guys. So our director his name is Michael Stark, and my advisor is Shatina Jones. But we actually have 3 advisors. We have the blessing to have 3 advisors. So we can't reach one. We reach one or the other 3 times. Yes, sir. So that being said, we have a really good communication with our advisor as well as the director. The only thing that I said that I would like to improve is, as far as branding, is when you look at the other organizations, they have a lot more to give. Physically, they have a lot of other swag to give out. And one thing was RJ, like, we always like try to get good stuff, but it's like kind of like stuff that everybody's already giving out. So one thing I would try to change is stepping up our swag game and trying to give out better stuff. You gotta level up every year. That's what we do.
Tamu.
Sorry, that was really good, Tyler. So actually, I'm meeting with my director on Monday. Our relationship of RHA is kind of funny, kind of sad too. So we had a hall that flooded 2 weeks ago. The first floor got flooded. And I went to a campus master plan update meeting. I was like, hey, Sharni, how's it going? What's been up? She's like, oh, good. We just had accident hall flood. I was like, you're kidding, right? And she was like, no, I'm serious. Thanks for floating. It's like, my office is in there. And she goes, y'all are placed in there? And she literally did not know that. And I was like, yeah, you placed us there. She goes, wow, hope everything's okay. I was like, okay, we're going to meet more. And so we've met every month, but we just never talk about those types of issues. So I've kind of built that relationship with her as well, because our advisor is I say, here's Sharni, here's associate directors, here's the coordinator. So it's up there, it's a 3rd level. But Sharni didn't like the past student leaders presidents. I know I'm not saying I'm perfect, it's what it comes off across, but I've actually tried to input myself into everyone's life, especially in the central area office. I go there and I schmooze a bunch of people. That's just something that I love doing. So I go and knock on the door, ask them how they're just going, what's going on in their life. Do they need any help? Do they need RHA to help or anything like that? But in a moral story, she's actually been I asked for a position, someone that could advise RHA, RHA only. Right now we have someone who's a coordinator who areas south side of campus, those halls. And I was like, no, I want an advisor to just do RHA. And literally we're doing a search committee in a couple weeks and or the semester, next semester, looking for one for RHA. I'm about to go on Monday, and since our South Commons office is is under construction right now, and that's where we used to be, hubbed. And she was like, yeah, you'll probably share an office with someone. I'm literally gonna go up to her and be like, nah, RHA is gonna keep that office. I'm gonna have presidents gonna have the own office. Because I think the more, if that advisor does 2 organizations, RHA is gonna fall under, because RHA won't be seeing how strong it is compared, because we consider a flow, which is a freshman leadership organization. And I want them to see RHA as being one of the big 7. So definitely try to meet with the director. Sometimes the director is your advisor of RHA. Get personal with them, get to know them. If you see them, go introduce yourself, because that's how she makes all the decisions. And I kind of just cut to the top, like, hey, skip all these people in between and just go to the top. Especially at A&M, it's very student heavy, and so like whatever we want, they'll be like, okay, we can make something happen, and they compromise a lot.
So I'm graduating in May. If you're looking for a graduate advisor, hit me up. And also, it's always interesting because you just go around and smooch people. So double date smooching. Ryan's weird, y'all. Okay.
I'm just normal. Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Everyone else is normal. Connor, you're weird.
Okay. How do I know?
I'm the real COPR. Everyone knows.
There he is. Okay. Sam Houston.
You can't just mute me like that.
Sam Houston.
Well, now it's kind of awkward to talk after Tamu, but for SHSU, we have an advisor, and she's the one who keeps us connected with our res life, since our Residence Hall Association is a branch from them, and if we want to do anything, we have to get it approved by them, such as our small budget. I'm hoping to create more of a connection between the e-board and res life, so we can become more personal and they can recognize how much work we're doing and will allow us to create more programs. We talk to a lot of RAs and NRHH people whenever we can, and during our hall council meetings, we try. Right now, 5 of our dryers are down for the whole campus, and Res Life is saying that we can't get them fixed until a month later, which is a lot of problem for a lot of the residents, but we're trying to see if we can talk to Res Life and see if anything can be done. Sorry for it being long. Bye.
That was absolutely perfect. Thank you so much. Tyler Junior College.
Wrong timing. No. Okay, so my mind went blank. 1 second, recoup. Okay, so we're really close with our housing office for several reasons. One, our advisor is also assistant director. So she's our main lady in housing office. We are so small that last year it used to be nothing but RAs, and then I was the only one who wasn't RA, and then I became president after everyone left. And so like since and we met in the conference room in our housing office. So that's how we were staying close then. Now we're moving out. We're trying to branch a little bit further since we're always in housing. So everybody's talking about how close they are, how they want to be closer, and we're trying to get away from it a little bit, get some space. And but we are really close, and she's our assistant director. And me personally, my hall is the closest hall to housing. I have to walk by it every day on my way to my room. So it's kind of like an obligation to like pop my head in to see if she needs to tell me anything or see if she's texted me or emailed me about anything. I see her almost every day. We just had lunch earlier and talked about her neighbors. So that's our closeness. We're pretty tight. And she texted me earlier. We have a game we play, and she texted me a joke about our game out of nowhere. It was stop. So yeah, that was it.
That's awesome. And I love your mad beats. They're pretty great. SFA.
So our relationship with our Res Life department is actually really good, but it helps a little bit that I worked for the department over the summer, so I got a really close relationship with some of the people who work there. But our assistant director, like some of you have said, is kind of our head advisor, but we have a coordinator position and 2 other hall directors who are also our advisors that also advise NRHH as well. So within them, it's really good connection with the hall directors and things, because we do have 2 of them as our advisors, and then me just sending out like weekly updates to them. But for our department itself, like I said, our assistant director is a head advisor, so we have meetings every now and then, about once a month, and all of our money transactions or anything business kind of related, we have to go into our residence life department and talk to our business supervisor. So that creates a good connection with us, because all the executive board members are trained with our little credit card, I guess you could say, for the department. So we all have to go in to talk to her. So that creates a good relationship with her. And then just being in the office all the time, we have a box, like a mailbox there. So we're constantly in there every day. People see us go in and out. We always pop into people's offices and things. So we're pretty well known in our residence life department. It is across campus, but our campus isn't very big. So it takes about 5 minutes to walk over there. So it's not too bad. But I think just having a lot of them as an active part in our organization has helped a lot with the communication, as well as just keeping up with emails and creating that connection and continuing the conversations and communications with that as well. So
awesome. University of Arkansas at Fayetteville.
So my relationship with the residential life department hasn't been too hands-on until recently. The RHA here, we have 2 advisors, and those advisors run 2 of the res halls on campus. So they've been mainly my points of contact up until this week. This week I've started having the assistant director of housing and a bunch of other people in the housing building come and drop in on me during my office hours just to talk. So it's been this random shift this week of actually starting to communicate with people other than my advisors. So
I think that's really cool that they're taking the initiative to reach out to you, because usually I've seen it as the other way around. The student has to have the initiative to go speak to res life staff. So I think that that's really unique and really awesome.
Yeah, and I'm required to hold office hours in the housing building. So part of our code is that I have to hold 5 office hours. So I just have 1 in there every day of the week. So I'm in there for an hour every day.
That's awesome. I'm sure that definitely helps. West Texas A&M.
So ours is set up similarly. Our RHA office is actually in residential living. So since we all also hold office hours, we talk to residential living staff pretty much daily. And also our advisor is a hall coordinator. So, and then our advisor's advisor is the associate director, or assistant director. So we have a lot of interaction basically with Res Living daily. We have a really good relationship with them. Pretty much anything we need, we're in the office, we can just go talk to someone. And I think that's really, really great. I actually like having that set up, and I think that's a really good setup.
Definitely. That's awesome. Centenary?
So we got a new advisor this year because our one from last year left, as everyone does at Centenary. But so with her, I was really close, and I don't know, we just were. And then so with Monty, it's a much different relationship, but I'm trying to make it more of an open communication line. And then within the rest of Res Life, we definitely we encourage our hall councils to reach out to the RAs in their building to co-program with them. Because if they do that, like not only can they like combine budgets, they also can combine like the RAs can count it as like a program, and the hall councils can count it as a program, kind of like what Autumn was saying. So like it's in the best benefit for the RAs to do it as well. But it's just a matter of like the hall councils actually reaching out to them, which is something like that we've struggled with this year. But we also have a lot of new people coming on our hall councils this year because we're in a phase of rebuilding.
Awesome. Okay, so I think that that's it. We're going to move into open forum now. Does anybody have any additional things, any additional questions to ask, any points to say, anything like that? It says SFA, but it also says Brian. And by the looks of all of the annoying X's, I feel like it is Brian. So I'm going to say Texas A&M Commerce.
Yes, everybody, my birthday is next Sunday. Yeah. So I'll just throw that out there, so you guys have something to do next Sunday. While you're sitting at home, shoot a text, a group me or something, I appreciate it.
Yes, I need to get, I meant to get everyone's birthdays like back in August and I didn't. The year is still young, right? I can still get people's birthdays. Huh. Okay. Brian, did you have anything to add?
Kind of like going off the topic of Res Life on a more serious note. If y'all have like multiple organizations underneath Res Life, one thing that has like made me so furious is that hold them accountable, like keep them in check. Like we have a once a month meeting with all the Res Life organizations, the presidents. We have like 8 organizations underneath Res Life. Like if someone's slacking, like point that out to them. I know that's kind of like mean and like savage of him, but like encourage them to like, we have like one organization that like has 5 members and constantly has 5 members. Like, what are you doing about marketing? What are you doing? Like, oh, we're just kind of like passing word of mouth. Like, but your money's going to that. Like, I don't know how y'all's money's funded, but like Res Life is an auxiliary at A&M. So like our rent money basically makes Res Life. And so like hold them accountable for things like that. Especially, I mean, I'm more of like the leadership type, like an administration, like governing body. And so like, I'm like telling them like, I work with other organizations. I see their potential and like, y'all are down here. Y'all need to be here. Like kind of like boost them up, but also tell them like, y'all are slacking. Like, so just a word of advice whenever like you meet with like the directors and stuff, tell them that like, I don't want to be on that level. I think the Res Life needs to be up here with other like VPSA, like whatever you want to talk about, whatever, just like to get those things rolling. So just word of encouragement. Don't feel like you're ever like stepping on anyone's toes. You're only benefiting the organization and your organization as well.
Hashtag do it for the residents. Okay. That will be it. I'll go ahead up. Okay. So Autumn says that we have a resident affairs committee and they create proposals monthly. After they are created and approved by the e-board, the chair and I will go to speak to the head boss of housing and hopefully get it approved. So is there like a specific proposal that they're going to do that you'll be approving or that you hope gets approved, or is this just like generally?
Well, we have like the chair, he kind of is, after meetings, he'll ask like anything like that residents feel needs to be changed. And we have bad raccoons on campus. And so our dumpsters are, they get attacked by the raccoons. And so that's like the first one they're working on this month. And so we're going to go hopefully get it approved by like our big boss, hopefully. And then I know they wanted to do something with like bringing the little filtered water things that were at the conference because we only have like a few of them in one of our residence halls. So technically it's supposed to get approved by our e-board and then we have to take it to the big boss that's like, so yeah.
That's awesome. I just want to say thank you all for taking the time to come out and meet tonight. I I think you all did an absolutely wonderful job representing your institutions this past weekend. I was more proud than I could say, especially since I could barely talk, and I can still barely talk. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I am super, super proud of how y'all conducted yourselves this past weekend. I think that your institutions would be very, very proud of you, and they should be. And thank you all for just the work that you do on campus. I don't know how many of you get told that you're doing a good job, but I just want to let y'all know that y'all really are doing a great job. Just the little bits that I get to hear from y'all every now and then really do prove to me that we have some really great leaders in this region. So I really want y'all to continue to do a great job. As always, if you ever need anything, you can always reach out to me. But yeah, I'll stay on for a little bit if y'all have any questions, but the meeting is now over. I hope that y'all have a good night, a good weekend, and a happy Halloween to everyone who's doing anything. Please stay safe. Bye.